Women marry men, hoping they will change. Men marry women, hoping they will not. So each is inevitably disappointed. Albert Einstein. Greetings. My name is Joseph Yagar. Welcome to another Life in Perspective broadcast. My objective is to provide thought-provoking discussions so you can optimize your perspective on life. When I was asked to write about my perspective on the topic of relationships, I must admit I was a bit hesitant. My view is somewhat controversial and cynical, but I love a challenge and prefer to be authentic and transparent than a mere academic. Besides, you are here for my perspective, so I will share it, no holds barred. Before I continue, please consider subscribing to the channel if you haven't already done so by clicking the subscribe link below. It's free and would be much appreciated. You may also follow me on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter. The opening statement applies to relationships in general, in my opinion, not just marriage. The overwhelming majority of relationships start euphorically. The attraction, the incessant longing, the overflowing passion, thrill of discovering all there is to know about each other, and declarations of eternal love. You look into each other's eyes and declare how you love each other just the way you are and that you are the best thing that ever happened to one another. You do things for and with each other that you wouldn't consider on your worst day before the relationship. So why then the stats on relationships, especially marital, are so dismal? I've spent a considerable amount of time, especially after my divorce, attempting to learn and understand the dynamics behind the statistics. I am as content by myself as I am with a compatible partner, but did not want to make the same mistakes if I was to enter into another relationship. I realize that it takes two to tango, but I must take responsibility for my part in its success or failure. That begins with awareness. Without it, as is so often the case, love is indeed blind. I wholeheartedly believe that to be successful in anything, including intimate relationships, we must have a strong mindset. We must be clear about what we want in a partner and not settle for less. The caveat is that we must be transparent about our wants from the get-go and not make excuses for them. Our conviction must show. Furthermore, we should expect the same from our partners. No ifs, ands, or buts. If we start judging, criticizing, changing, or controlling, and vice versa, it's over. It means there was no truth to begin with. The reason my marriage failed is because I did not have this mindset from the start. It wasn't fair to me or to my ex-wife, and although we had some good times, we were doomed to fail. I did not make that mistake this time around, and I can say with staunch conviction that I was never happier nor as much in love. That is not to say we don't disagree on some topics, but talking and resolving issues is swift. We don't hold grudges, play games, or point fingers. We take responsibility, fix if need be, and move on. Next is emotional stamina. We bring baggage into relationships and know that there will be times when one or both of us will have our individual challenges to deal with. It could be finances, health, parental, professional, infidelity, etc. If we are not clear as to what we are willing to accept on any of these beforehand, we will have a tough time dealing with or even surviving it as a relationship. That is why, with all due respect to the traditional marital vows of for richer, for poorer, in sickness and in health, till death do us part, I see them as the far-fetched promises the statistics clearly prove them to be. Unconditional love is a fancy term for tolerance until I run out of it, and in the context of intimate relationships is as uncommon as common sense. Now, if you're counting on your partner for your happiness, good luck. Happiness, whatever that means to you, is your responsibility alone. Your partner is there to enhance and contribute another dimension to your life, not provide happiness. That is too much responsibility for anyone and is destined to fail. If you're ashamed to show up at a party for couples alone, need a partner to make you whole, have a reason to wake up in the morning, or fill whatever void you presume to have without one, keep a separate apartment somewhere because you'll be moving back there in due time. No one will ever complete you if you believe you're incomplete to begin with. The last topic I'll touch on is one of the most frequent relationship destroyers, infidelity. Research shows that sexual energy is the dominant energy that drives our actions. As societies, we made rules around acceptable ways to express sexuality within the confines of a defined relationship. And unless we're among the closest of friends, we dare not disclose our most carnal desires. Otherwise, we may be judged, frowned upon, labeled as sinners, and potentially excommunicated from the company of the self-righteous saints all around us. Yet at the rate in which sex sells, it is likely that the overwhelming majority of those judging you are buying too. Why? Monogamy is not natural. Look around you, for heaven's sake. There are way too many desirable people to pledge allegiance till death do you part to only one. Is it possible? Of course. Is it probable? Less so. And there is no reason to be ashamed about your feelings when most everyone around you is feeling the same way, let alone act on it. The rules of man do not nullify the rules of nature. The former are necessary and serve us well to protect against unwelcome and unlawful acts of sexual behavior, but are often ineffective in a consensual setting. I'm not condoning infidelity. I'd rather see partners being honest about it rather than be covert and deceitful. Nor is it my place to judge anyone for it. I'm bringing what I believe to be much needed awareness to the naive nature most people have on the subject, especially when starting out in the game of love. If more partners were open and honest from the get-go about their view on sexuality and the probability of temptation, they may be able to either reject the relationship altogether or set their own rules and expectations ahead of the commitment rather than become another broken statistic. If you're not capable of this level of honesty, how solid do you expect your relationship to be? And so, my experience leads me to believe that like anything else you seek to succeed in, get your mindset straightened out first. Know who you are, become the best version of yourself, accept yourself unconditionally so that you can share the real you. Only then you'll be able to stop selling a bunch of goods that misrepresent who you really are just because you want to get laid or fit in. Only then you'll be confident enough not to settle for someone who doesn't share your core values, nor will you believe such partners don't exist. Only then you'll move your line in the sand because you want to, not because it is expected or demanded of you, and be able to grant the same freedom to your partner so you don't suffocate each other out the door. And only then you will not let social norms decide for you what a relationship should be, who you should love, and why. As Jane Travis profoundly said, the relationship with yourself sets the tone for every other relationship. So if you don't trust and enjoy your own company, why would anyone else? Please like, subscribe, and share this video, and let me know what topics you would like my perspective on in the comment section below. Thank you for watching, and see you next time.